All right. All right. Well, to kick this off, I want to introduce somebody who has a great passion for clean water, and that is Katrina Eckert, if she'd come up here. My name is Douglas Lefevre, by the way. I'm the lead engineer from WEL Enterprise. Katrina is the CEO, founder, the spark plug, as I like to call her, for clean water. For not only here, she has big dreams. She has dreams of not only clean water here in Ohio, but across the world. She's going to tell you a little bit about that story. So Katrina, you want to come up here and share the microphone? Don't be shy. There you go. See if everybody can hear you.
Hello.
There you go. You want to share a little bit about your story of why clean water is so important?
Yes. So I actually became involved with water about 10 years ago when I started college, and have since then been traveling the world and for some reason being driven to fix this problem that I saw 10 years ago and people today still don't see as one of our biggest problems. Water is the most important thing to our sustainability. So through my years of travel, academics, and mentorship, and working with some of the best incredible experts around the world, I have figured out a way to fix this problem. And I've developed the first industrial water reclamation system for industrial facilities, and actually it can be used for municipalities as well. What's really cool is that I've had hundreds of people come up to me with a problem, and it could be in Africa, it could be in a building, it could be in an apartment, it could be in the municipal sewage district. And I've sat there and developed the solutions in every aspect to provide returns, not only to the environment, but in cost savings to the actual end user and to help these government agencies manage these problems. So it is truly, I can't wait to build my first one, actually.
Where have you traveled to see the water problems?
So I've traveled, I've been all over Asia. I lived there for about 2 years. I was in Vietnam, Cambodia, Hong Kong doing research. I was in Syria last year, and Palestine, as well as Israel. Israel is really where all the water technologies are at, but there's global water problems and issues with war in places like Syria, in the Gaza Strip. I've done extensive research in Australia and how they are the driest region in the world, but yet they are the most sustaining with their water. And that's because they've learned how to manage it well. Still, there's a lot of room for improvement in these technologies, and really there isn't one technology that's not either sucking up too much energy or costing too much money. So it's just, I've seen what's out there, and I've learned and researched and developed. The funny thing was last year I actually started my company, and I was working for corporate America as an HVAC engineer, and I realized I needed to drop off the face of the earth, go underground, and study truly what's going on with our ecosystem, what's happening in pipes, what's happening with the source of the problem. And that's when I was able to develop even my 2 provisional patents in this field. So,
how many presentations have you made in the last year to both companies as well as other groups interested in your technology?
About 100.
About 100?
Probably 5 conferences, and I've definitely presented this to many people, though.
You know, one of the things, can you hear me okay? You know, one of the things I want to mention about Katrina is the fact that she puts her money where her mouth is. I think that there's a tremendous amount of interest. There's a tremendous amount of individuals who want to gain knowledge about water cleaning technology or water reclamation or what you're going to talk or whatever you want to call it. But I think that the organizations who are stakeholders, their hands are a little bit tied. I'm talking about the Environmental Protection Agency, the MSDs, this type of thing. And on the other side of the coin are the wastewater producers. And unfortunately, their bottom line is money. And it takes participation from all parties to really make a difference. And one of the reasons why I joined with Katrina to be her lead engineer is just discussions, that we have had about our passion for clean water. You may not know it, but there really is a desert forming right now in the United States, and that desert is clean water.
And there's lead in your water.
Yes, and unfortunately, there are endocrine disruptors and hormones in our water. There are pesticide residues in our water. There are perchlorates in our water. The Environmental Protection Agency has done a tremendous job of identifying the terrible toxins in our water right now, but unfortunately, it just hasn't hit the surface yet. And I think when it does, we're all going to be very uncomfortable. And we want to be there to make a difference. And it's not just about enriching ourselves. It's about completing the relationship between industry and regulatory bodies so that we can clean up the water and the industry doesn't feel like they're continually penalized, and the environmental regulation doesn't feel like they're an enemy to industry. So do you want to add anything to that?
No, so that pretty much covers everything. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce Rahel Bawa here from the Hamilton Mill. We've had the pleasure of working with him, and he's going to enlighten you just a little bit more. So.
All right. I'm just going to hold this because otherwise I'll be bending over for the whole time. So the reason I'm up here talking a little bit is to kind of give some background as to how Katrina, Doug, and WEL sort of ended up here and why we're at Municipal Brew Works in Hamilton. As Doug said, I'm Rahel Bawa. I'm chairman of the board of the Hamilton Mill, which is an incubator that focuses on clean tech and advanced manufacturing, located in this building. We also have a water tech commercialization program called Pipeline H2O that we'll be launching soon as well. For those of you that don't know sort of the startup ecosystem in the region, at the end of the day, you may have heard of something called Startup Cincy. There's a lot of effort being put into that, and WEL Enterprise is a classic example of that ecosystem actually working. We met Katrina really through her IP attorney in downtown Cincinnati, who we're connected to. She's obviously working in the water space. We focus on clean tech as one of our focus areas, introduced us to her. We met, she applied to be part of the incubator. Fast forward a little bit, she's part of the incubator. We've been mentoring her a lot, kind of through our network. And I don't have to talk to you about sort of why she's here, because I think both Doug and Katrina did a great job of that, and you understand their passion and background. Those are the entrepreneurs that we need, not just at the Hamilton Mill, but in our economy. And this is the sort of stuff, and you'll see the demo a little bit later, and I think it's a great sort of visible result of the work they've done. And they've got a lot more work left to do. So the ecosystem here, whether it's focused on water, whether it's focused on advanced manufacturing, clean tech, software, biotech, et cetera, exists. It's very vibrant. There's a lot going on, whether it's Centrifuge, who's focused on the startup community, investors such as Cincy Tech, QCA, whether it's groups like Confluence, who are really focused on kind of pulling together all of the water expertise around the region. There's so much to leverage that this community does a wonderful job of that. So I want to thank both Doug and Katrina for giving me a little bit of time to talk about that. This is really the start for WEL. And they've done a lot of hard work. One of the things I keep telling Katrina is, that's good, but the hard work's still going to be going for a while. And a successful entrepreneur, I've started businesses, I've been an entrepreneur. A successful entrepreneur has to have the passion that she does. You don't do this, you don't stay up all night, you don't put your own heart and soul into it, figure out where you're going to sleep, how you're going to pay the bill, unless you have the passion. And that's really the classic example here. So thank you all for attending. Thank you very much for supporting WEL and what you're doing just by being here. And I'll turn it over back to Doug then. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to introduce Dave Folks from the Ohio EPA, if you want to come up here. He's going to come up and enlighten us, and he promised not to bore us. So we'll see how he does. I told him to get his jokes ready. I do want to mention a fun fact, because there are fun facts. Fun facts about WEL Enterprise, and that WEL Enterprise already owns 2 provisional patents that cover 20 industries for water reclamation. So with that, let's turn it over to Dave. You want that, prefer that?
Thank you. How's everybody doing tonight? All right. Well, real quickly, I'm Dave Folks. I'm from the Ohio EPA, not US EPA, but Ohio EPA. And I came here with my colleague, Frank Bastine. We came down from Columbus, so not too long of a drive. We actually met Katrina via email, phone a few months ago, and she shared her system, her ideas with us, and we said, hey, when you get it up and running, our pilot system, we'll come see it. So here we are. So real quickly, we're from a different part of the Ohio EPA. We're in a technical assistance, small business assistance office, non-regulatory. So we're here because Frank and our portion deals with waste minimization, sustainable materials, ways to save money, reduce waste. It can be either through reducing your regulatory burden or actually just doing things more efficiently. So the whole idea is to help companies comply with regulations and also help them reduce waste, save money, and become more sustainable. So the craft microbrewery industry is growing across the nation, as we can see here, and craft brewery has a unique set of waste streams and potential challenges. Wastewater from the brewing process is very nutrient rich and can challenge municipal wastewater treatment plants. So since early 2015, we have been providing more assistance to this sector in Ohio, including we did a wastewater cost and sustainability innovation workshop in Athens during their Ohio Craft Brewery Week event. Anybody been down to that? No? Okay. So we did a workshop there last July in a small little craft brewery there called Devil's Kettle. There were over 20 craft breweries packed in there, and we did a workshop about some of the challenges, some of the waste streams, some ways you can cover your costs through diversion of the waste streams and finding other avenues for it. What we're interested, our office is interested in learning more about the water recovery systems like this one being demonstrated and about scalable technologies that offer waste management and other water reduction solutions. We're also interested in new technologies that can assist small businesses economically treat its wastewater and reduce load to wastewater treatment plants. Minimizing waste from any process is an idea Ohio EPA supports, and we salute WEL Enterprises' efforts to address this issue in the brewery sector. And finally, we are hopeful these kind of technologies will continue to develop and grow. One way we can do this is by sharing craft brewery waste reduction success stories with others in Ohio. So one of the ways we're doing this is we have an Encouraging Environmental Excellence Award program, and just this year still, we gave our first award to a craft brewery. I guess they're still a craft brewery, Great Lakes Brewing Company. Anybody heard of them? Mm-hmm. Of course, I know you guys have. We're in a brewery here. They received our gold level award this past August, and the reason I bring that up is some of the reasons why they see the award is their triple bottom line. Sustainability, triple bottom line, right? Everybody's heard of triple bottom line. People, profit, planet. They were able to address that in the way they do business, and they also focused in on their water and energy reduction per unit of beer produced. So each year they achieve 5-6% reductions of each year of beer of per water and energy unit of beer, which is important because that was incremental. So we like these stories because then we can share these stories with your peers. And as we know, the craft brewing industry is really growing in Ohio. So, and that's all I have. So right. Hopefully I didn't put everybody to sleep. Thank you.
Wait a minute. What kind of beer did you drink tonight?
Oh, I did not have any beer because But
Are you on the clock? Are you on the clock?
On
I'm
the clock.
sorry, I don't want to get you in trouble. Maybe I can buy you a beer. Thank you, Dave, very much for that.
And I'm trying to understand the jokes in my head about the EPA and the breweries, but I'll forego that. Anyway, thank you for coming out. We are so excited to have all y'all here and to have WEL Industries here. It's going to be extremely exciting to have the pallet system here, and just to have the ability to save the environment, save the infrastructure. You know, that's huge. It really is. If we are able to truly save the infrastructure and the environment at the same time, whose game? I am. Everybody up for that? Absolutely, absolutely. Sense of community right here. The brewery industry is such a sense of community, and we share everything. If I have an issue, I call up, Madtree or whoever out there, Valley Vineyards, whoever. If I need a piece of grain, some infrastructure of what I'm doing out there, or some problems I'm having, I call people up in the industry, and they give me the information like ASAP. It's the same thing we're doing right here. So we're going to be hopefully the first place right now to get things done, to save the environment, save the infrastructure, and save the brewing industry. I truly believe that. I think if we can give that information out to the other brewers out there and the other municipalities out there, that's what we're going to do. That's who we are: sense of community, self-awareness, and the environment. I really don't have much else to say. Just drink local. Bye, guys.
That's Sean Willingham from the Municipal Brew Works, if you didn't know. What beer are you drinking tonight, Sean?
Oh man, if you want to talk about beer, let's talk about beer real fast. That's the no, I'm just joking. That's the Courageous. I like the Courageous.
The Creatus. There you go. Has everybody got a beer? Is everybody happy? Is everybody happy they're drinking beer? There you go. All right. I thought I was at a funeral for a moment there. So, okay. Well, we have another guest here, Ryan Welsh from the MSD. Is Ryan here? There he is. Excellent. And this is the, let me say this correctly, Metropolitan Sewer District of Greater Cincinnati. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. There we go.
So my director, Gerald Checo, was supposed to be here. I apologize for him. He had to cancel at the last minute, so I really didn't prepare anything. So I hope I don't ramble too much, but I'm going to talk about what I think Gerald would want me to talk about. And that's really our relationship with the local breweries in Cincinnati. Are there any of our customers here with us tonight? Christian Moorline, Madtree, Ryan Geis. I can't be all inclusive because there's so many of them. But anyway, we're really walking a fine line right now. We're not a regulator. The EPA, of course, is a regulator and makes the rules, but we have to follow permits. We have to treat water, make sure we meet our permit and discharge clean water into the rivers or streams. And we have to do that in a way that's most cost effective and fair to all of our ratepayers, all of our customers, including the breweries. Being a city agency, we're part of the city of Cincinnati. We also have to balance that with economic development. And we don't want to stifle any of this economic growth that's happened in the last few years with the breweries. So we want to work together, and if there are people out here that are our customers, I hope we can have a beer together after I talk and you don't run and hide from me. But yeah, when I see a technology like this, and we've been working with Siren for the last couple of years, and Katrina with the WEL technology here for the last couple of months, when we see something like this that has this much potential to make an impact, it's really exciting. And not even if there were no additional brewery waste surcharges, just from the water conservation perspective, I think this technology has a lot of potential to be a game changer. So one more thing I wanted to mention, we're having a conference in May in Cincinnati for the first time. It's an international conference of water and energy exchange. It's a European conference. It'll be held first time in the U.S. We don't have the hotel details worked out, but the date is May 15th through the 17th, and there will be a session on brewery waste treatment. So come see me afterwards, and I can give you more information on that. So thanks.
The question is, it's an international conference, will there be beer there? That's what I want to know. Do you have an answer? Will there be beer there at your international conference?
And actually, we're looking for a brewery to sponsor this event, so that's still
All right, well now, thank you for your patience, by the way, and now we come to just a demonstration. This is a technology demonstrator of WEL Enterprise, so if I can introduce Dennis Perkins, can you come up? And Katrina, can you come back up, please? Yes, you can do that. So nobody, I had a haiku about dirty water, but I didn't think you wanted to hear it, so. So we're going to go right to just talk a little bit about why we want our rivers to be clean. You want to mention, Katrina mentioned about the red tide that I thought was very fascinating. It was one of her concerns about Ohio rivers.
Well, actually, rivers all over the world and water spaces. Red tide is one of the environmental disasters that is a result of things such as industrial waste components called BOD, which not many of you may know what that is, but it's a result of an industrial process that sets our ecosystems off balance. And when that occurs, it kills off wildlife, it sets everything off balance. You get the algae blooms, the harmful algae blooms that really, it's an environmental disaster. So these solutions are not just for, like these small communities or anything. It's definitely on a huge environmental side. So this actually will lift out all of those contaminants in the entire process. And yeah. So I'm going to describe this wastewater. We have here the worst streams coming out of a brewery, which contain caustics and parasitic acids, a few other chemicals. We're going to get yeast, solids, there's every part of the brewing process, and then the actual cleaning process. So breweries really have two scenarios when they're depositing a waste stream, and it's either from their brew, which is going to be your more organic material, also a contaminant though, and then all the cleaning components. So that would be like your caustics and parasitics, which they run through for loops through their systems, and then dump everything down the drain.
So, craft brewing really has some very, what's the word I'm looking for? Just very natural ingredients, but unfortunately the process and the quantity of how much is going on is actually impacting our waterways in a negative way. And so it's not that the breweries do anything out of the ordinary, they really don't. It's just that we like beer, and we like lots of beer, and we drink lots of beer, and that impacts our environment. You want to fire that thing up? So with that, I think we're going to be done. And thank you again, everyone, for coming tonight. We really appreciate your support. And if you want to make a donation, just see me outside later, okay? Thank you.